Hi guys, this is Tara Macklin. I'm a wife, a mom, an athletic trainer, and a PCOS thriver. And what I wanted to talk to you guys today is a little trifecta of, if you will, of chronic ailments, medications, and lifestyle change. And I feel like all three go really well together. But I feel like sometimes we're disillusioned about how maybe some of this is supposed to work. Like, we get older in years and we get diagnosed with an ailment and it is what it is, and here's your medication and you're going to be on this for the rest of your life. While there is some of those conditions out there, I don't think that is the vast majority of them. So what I also want to put out here as a disclaimer is I'm not here to tell you that I know better than your physician or maybe even your pharmacist about these things. But I am out here to put an idea in your head. So I'm not telling you to take those pharmaceuticals and just kick them to the curb. I think that putting in some good research and some time into your condition and other things that could help serve your body in a healing process rather than a forced symptom stop process are things to look into and talk about with your doctor for your condition and for your situation. Because even if we look at person A's blood pressure and person B's blood pressure, you might have some different factors that go into play. So prime example of me having PCOS, I'm an insulin resistant type of PCOS. I will have this for the rest of my life. It doesn't even go away with menopause, unfortunately. And so this is something that I will have to manage in the long term or the long game of my life. It's not going to just disappear. And so knowing different lifestyle habits or things that I need to be more aware of can help with my longevity just as much, and probably even more so than, or I'm going to put out there more so than a pharmaceutical. Because again, a pharmaceutical is stopping the symptom from appearing. It's not taking care of the causality of the symptom. And while I think pharmaceuticals have a great place in helping you work on getting yourself into a healthier standpoint, I do not believe that they were meant to be a long-term crutch. Again, have these informed conversations with your physician. I know I did when I was working on getting off of one of my medications that I was put on for my PCOS. He wasn't super excited about the idea, but was willing to work with me with where I was at. And when I did the work, I proved it with my lab results, and he was quite happy with the results that he's feels comfortable having just keep monitoring my lab results. That's my story. And I worked really hard to get to that point, so that way I didn't have to feel like it needed to be a crutch. And I think hopefully, at least it sounds like he's kind of changed some of his opinions about some of that and having more talks with him, or at least he just tells me that. So, but I do know there are other physicians out there that run into that similar gamut of not wanting to be putting people on something long term. So it's not just a belief of mine. It is, there are other physicians out there that practice in something similar to this method. So just something to kind of keep in the back of your head as you're working and digging in deeper. But I really feel like when it comes to our chronic issues, we as humans don't own it. And I'm not saying running out and telling everyone that you're labeled with this thing. That's not what I mean by owning it. But what I mean by owning it is understanding that the lifestyle that you're living has a cause and effect on your body. So if you're diagnosed with a type 2 diabetes, you're put on your insulin, you're put on these medications, but we're not changing the lifestyle things that help create this insulin resistance in our body and overwhelm our body, then there's can be continued repercussions. You might be talking about losing limbs. I mean, you've probably seen some older patients that they talk about foot numbness and have to have toes cut off and body parts cut off. And that's not how life has to be. We are definitely in a position where we can be more mindful of the food that goes in our mouths and the products that we use on our bodies. And, you know, we don't have to be on this long-term reliance of medication if it's deemed safe by our physicians to do so. So something that I wish that when I was diagnosed with PCOS, that was the long talk that I had. Someone had sat down and had that talk with me. It is possible to not be on medication and have PCOS and not have things masked and forced in our bodies. There are natural means of serving our body for the long run, of our game. I mean, we all go into this life like we assume we're going to live for this long time. And for me, living life shouldn't be a constant struggle of needing to be on this medication and constantly just feeling like I'm getting worse and worse and not having a solution to the problem. I feel like that for me, addressing the food that I was eating and the products that I was using, I actually am in this better state of thriving. And also working on my mindset has been very helpful as well. So it's about perspective at the end of the day. I think a lot of us go into this state of, well, I got to watch my health now. And so it's a state of lack because you can't have donuts and you can't enjoy life. And that's simply not true either. But it's definitely being more aware, self-conscious, making good decisions, enjoying life in its little moments, and just taking life back in control for yourself and not being dependent on a medication for the long-term results. So I kind of feel like it's a little bit of an insanity when you're doing the medication route, but you're not addressing your lifestyle. My husband is a great example of this, of having received a diagnosis not too long ago, being told that he could potentially not be able to continue to work because he didn't pass his physical if he didn't address this. And he got on the medication to help control him in the short term, but has done the work to get this condition back in control. So that way, in the long run, he doesn't need to be on the medication when the doctors deem it to be safe for him to do so. And those are discussions that, I mean, we've had in the house and things that he's wanted to do for himself. He desires to be in a better state of health that is not dependent on a medication. So I know we all have different viewpoints, and this might be a topic that may not be popular, but it's something for me to kind of just trying to sprinkle a little bit of this in your mind. And I see it a lot in the groups that I'm in with PCOS, and I don't feel like we spend enough time, and it's hard for physicians to educate and know all the things. So I definitely don't blame them in this, but I do feel like we do need to have more honest and raw discussions about lifestyle changes, and knowing that the processed things on the shelf aren't meant to serve us and our bodies at the end of the day. So, to sit there and act like the food that we put in our bodies doesn't directly affect our health, I feel is extremely naive. And I know that can be kind of a strong word, but, or maybe even ignorance is bliss, so to speak, if we're choosing to be ignorant about it. So, again, I'm not trying to bash anyone, but just to put a little sprinkle of thought into your mind that you guys were in more control over our health than what we realize. And I do think that nowadays it's a little bit trickier than maybe it was in the past, but there's definitely been some good things that have come out of our evolution of life. It's just we also have continued sprinkled in the not so good things as we've evolved, and we have different triggers and different problems that have come up in this current lifestyle that we're in. And I think if we can clean some of this up, on top of our modern advances, we could probably have it pretty well nailed down. So I don't feel that the universe has put us astray and has left anything out to our health and healing. I feel like it's all been here and provided for us. That's kind of my mindset. So we were created so amazingly that I just don't think that that we were mistaken by any means of the things that we were provided on this earth to help heal our bodies. So I do believe that the answers are out there and they're here to serve us. I think modern medicine definitely has its place, but I don't think it was something that was meant to be relied on in the long term. So it's up to us to work on many of those things and to address the things in our lifestyle that are not serving our bodies. So again, I am a big believer that health is something that we take with us in this world at the end of the day, and what we do to help others. So hopefully my message will be seen in a positive light and not necessarily negative, but we all have our perspectives of how we choose to view things, and I can't control that either. So with that said, hopefully I sprinkled some knowledge on you. And if you're enjoying the content that I'm bringing to you guys in these videos, make sure you guys are clicking subscribe. Make sure that you're commenting with your questions, concerns. I don't shut off the comments, so all are welcome. And let me know how I can better serve you guys. So that's what I'm here to do. My niche is PCOS women, but if you're not PCOS and you found this handy or helpful, please let me know how I can potentially serve you guys better in content and all those things. So I look forward to connecting with you guys, and if you're interested in that, take a scroll down through the descriptions there, and there's definitely many different ways that I can help and connect with you. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you all soon.